Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. This is Finish It Friday for Friday, July 12th, 2024. So if you want to see what I've been working on this week, please stay tuned. It's been a really great week in the sewing room. I feel like we've been together every day on YouTube. So this is just kind of a quick recap of what we've accomplished this week. Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching the videos and commenting. I really appreciate your comments and giving us a thumbs up. It's really amazing. And I'm having a lot of fun coming up with everything for the channel. I sort of feel like I'm a little bit behind, but as long as I put up a video every day, then I will meet my goal of doing that. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with we'll start back here with the Giant Jacob's Ladder quilt. I got this finished this week. This is the quilt top. I'll put a picture here in the video if you haven't seen it, and I'll link the video in the description box so that you can go back and look at it if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet. This was a really fun block. We took a Jacob's Ladder block, which is like this one, and supersized it to this size. This is a baby quilt. It's about 57.5 by 57.5. And it's made up of 4 of the Jacob's Ladder blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it just came together perfectly. I'm very happy with it. At this point, I'm trying to decide if I want to put a border on it. I feel like because there's it's such a light quilt that it should have a border. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you what I'm thinking. And I'll just show you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So I'm thinking of doing this border here. So it's like a little fish print, and it has all the colors in it. So I think it's going to be perfect to go around this quilt. And then as a stop border, I have that light teal. I don't like it as much. I'm thinking of using one that's a little darker, which would be this one. I think this is going to bring it out just a little bit more than the light. I feel like the light one kind of washes it out. So I'm considering going with this as a stop border. So like 1.5 inches or something like that. And then having this as a slightly larger border. This is all of the fabric that I have like this. So I have to determine how big my border is going to be based on the amount of fabric that I have. And then for the binding, I'm going to do a flange that's probably going to be this as the flange, and then a dark blue as the larger portion of the border. So that's what I'm thinking for this quilt right now. But I'm really happy with how it came together. It is super duper cute, and I think it's going to be the perfect quilt for this little baby. Speaking of Jacob's Ladder blocks, if you follow the channel, I do this as my leader ender, and this is the block that I finished this week. And it will go with I think I have 6 other blocks. So this makes number 7, and then I have number 8 that I'm working on as well. Okay, so for our quote throwback video from yesterday, I made a postage stamp block. This is kind of a rainbow postage stamp block. All the other blocks I made have been primarily one color, and I just used my 2.5-inch squares to create this I had done it previously as a leader ender, but I did it yesterday just for the sake of doing the video. So I'm currently not regularly making these, but I really like this block and how it turned out, and I'm glad I took the time to make it on the channel. We also spent some time, or I spent some time, because we were on live together, working on the fist raise pattern by Jennifer Offenstein. I'm seeing if I can find my fist that I made. Not right this second, but anyway, well, let me see. That's just a small part of the pattern. Let me see if I can find the pattern. I think it's on the other table. Either way, so this week we created 3 pieces and they've not been cut down yet. So here's G, here's H, and E. So these are ready to be cut down. I still have, it has A through L. And so I've done 5 of those. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So I have 7 more pieces to make. 6 really, because the 7th piece is just a 1 fabric. But really happy with how it's coming together. I can't wait to see what this block looks like. It's going to be such a contrast from the other blocks. So can't wait to see that. And then the only other project that I have to share is my nephew's quilt, but we'll have to go upstairs to take a look at that. So let's do that right now. This is the progress on my nephew's quilt so far. I have all of the blocks made and I've cut the sashing strips. I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can get a look at the sashing. This, of course, is not the final layout by any means. I want to put the cornerstones in before I decide that. And then there's another decision that has to be made as well. You can see that at the top of the quilt, I have it on, quote, the right side of the fabric for the sashing. And then at the bottom, I have the solid portion. So when you flip over this fabric, this is actually the back side of the grunge. It's called Grunge Hits the Spot, but I don't know the name of the color. It's just gray to me. But on the back, it's a solid. So I'm kind of auditioning the pattern versus the solid. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I can see the advantages of both. I love the variety of that pattern, but then I also love how the solid kind of recedes a little bit. But I'm not going to make a final decision until I put the cornerstones in and get those setting triangles done. So we'll need corner triangles and then side triangles to get this fully set. But I think this quilt is going to be a monster. It's not going to be quite as big as it is here because we haven't allowed for the seam allowances, but it's going to be pretty big. So I can't wait to see how this thing comes together. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer pattern sashing, solid sashing? The cornerstones are going to be assorted reds from the patchwork. And then I think the triangles are going to be black to set it in, or like a darker gray. Haven't decided that yet. Let me know any suggestions you have in the comments. I'm really excited to see how this one finishes up. I'm so appreciative to all of you for joining me on Vlogmas. I know I already said it, but it really can't be said enough. I'm looking forward to next week. I need to get the cornerstones for my nephew's quilt, hopefully get all of that stitched up next week. His birthday is at the beginning of August, so I really don't have a lot of time, but I want to at least get the quilt top done, work on a binding, consider a backing. I have no idea what I want to do yet on that. I'm thinking about getting a 108 from somewhere. I just don't know where yet for that quilt. But I'm really just looking forward to getting that done. I think that's going to be the main project, seeing if I can get that done before the end of the month. So let me know in the comments what you're working on, what you're excited about. I am really looking forward to just continuing with Vlogmas and seeing what else we can come up with. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what to do with some of your scrap squares. So I am looking forward to that as well. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video and share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.